once again and welcome back to the Afia Morning Show. It's a brand new week of broadcast and this is saying, well, good morning to all of you and I hope you had a restful weekend. Those of us that were on the election, well, we did not really rest, but imagine if we did not rest, those in Anambra that had to actually participate in that election. I'm sure it was quite a weekend. I'm not here by myself, obviously. Nnamdi Obaya is next to me. Nnamdi, how are you doing? Good morning.
Tired.
Well, you have yourself to blame for that.
Well, but wait, first of all,
you hold yourself
I did
responsible.
a 4-day vigil at work because of the election.
Yeah, then what happened after the election?
I had to unwind, relax. If I hadn't relaxed yesterday, I did sleep early though.
Okay.
Which is amazing. I slept quite early. I slept before midnight.
Okay.
Or at midnight, one of them. But you know, after 4 days of intense.
And then you still decided to go for what? What did you go for after the election?
There was no way I was not going to go for the Jeans Carnival. And I have to please give a very, very big shout out to it was a crazy event. HAILS Entertainment, well done. This one, you did it. Place was packed to the rafters. The entire Amadio car park was packed to the rafters from the afternoon till the night. In fact, when I was leaving, I left there around past 10 to 11. People were still coming.
I can imagine
that was how crazy it was. And there was this guy that was eating fire, which of course was the highlight of my day. Rubbing fire on his body and eating fire.
I wonder how they do that. I mean, that's such a trick. And I think that's when he's about to do it. He's actually rubbing it like cream on his body.
On his body, like then he puts it inside his trousers and rubs it on himself and puts it in his mouth. Okay, I think this was the very, very end.
Quite interesting.
Very, very interesting.
All right.
And then there were DJs, there was music, and of course there was a little to
I mean, everybody is dancing. I highly doubt there was no music. So that must have been a full day. All right, before we now head back into party time, we're joined, of course, virtually, still from Enugu State, by Barrister Uche Maduemesi, who is a veteran journalist and, of course, a voter himself who headed to the polls to cast his ballot, of course, voting who he thought to be the best governor of Anambra State for the next 4 years. Let's take a look at headlines. Of course, by the time we're done, I'm sure he'll be all set. Beginning with Nature News. Today we're leading with an eco-friendly paper. And the top story here, Africa leads as UN COP30 climate summit kicks off in Belém, Brazil. Climate change, fertilizer misuse, depleting soil carbon, ICAR warns. Nigerian scientists pioneers greener energy storage with biopolymers. UN chief to world leaders act now or face climate ruin. 2 billion people lack access to clean cooking despite global progress. Farmers debunk FG's claim linking food price drop to production surge. Abu Dhabi Championship third round leaderboard. Of course, all of those are there on Nature News. On the Punch, PDP crisis, 3,000 delegates set for high-stakes convention. Makinde Wike camp trade blows as delegates gear up for convention. Crude oil revenue plunges by 43%. Drugs, Regina Woko in fresh, bitter showdown. SOLUDO'S Anambra win sparks political storm. Genocide, PFN, Islamic Council in verbal crossfire. 15 girls rescued from Ondo sex trafficking network. Arebesola's backing can't save Adeleke, according to an APC chieftain. Federal government vows tighter security after U.S. flags northern states unsafe. Vanguard. Anambra showdown, how SOLUDO'S tsunami swept all 21 local government areas. Federal government exceeds a 2025 borrowing target by 55.6%. U.S. watch list, Nigeria not in religious war, according to the NSCIA. UK warns against travel to 6 states. Anglican primates to federal government seek foreign help if you can't stop killings. Moving on from Vanguard to Nigerian Tribune, PDP, SDP, LP, ADC rejects Anambra Guba results. Tinubu others congratulate SOLUDO. Serap to INEC, hand over Anambra vote buyers, sponsors to EFCC, ICPC. I'll work for Anambra people, according to the governor-elect, Professor Chukwumacha SOLUDO. Fuel import tariff will strengthen Naira spur investments, according to NECA. Concerns as loan sharks re-emerge. The Guardian. SOLUDO triumphs in Anambra as ADC observers decry vote buy-in. Anambra Serap Booth Party urge INEC to prosecute vote buyers. Trump's comments threatens national unity. NSCIA warns demands retraction. Nigeria loses $8 billion yearly to idle seafarers. Seafarers delayed CBFF disbursement. And of course, also here, court hears motion on PDP November convention today. And lastly, IMF Nigeria discuss reforms, new development plan.
All right, we'll be giving the Daily Trust and the major headline there. Genocide claim, FG silent on Amukwiton's legal brief. We are not aware, that's according to the Senate. Anambra LP ADC candidates reject results as Soludo re-elected. Trump threat stock market loss hits 2.8 trillion naira. Protests in Kogi community over bandits attack. And on to the nation. My victory means elections getting better, says Soludo. Tinubu, his re-election, testament to visionary leadership. Governors hail deserved victory. Plot to take over Nest Oil. Necon's investment in OML 42 unravels. Foreign lenders, major banks join fight to overturn sweeping court orders. Court halts proceedings amid NJC Chief Judge petitions. PDP crisis throws Ekiti governorship primary won by Uluyede into storm. World Cup playoff. Eagles Rabat camp bubbles. And on to the Daily Independent. Sky-high fares in Nigeria blamed on expanding web of LG levies. Anambra Guba poll, best ever by INEC, says re-elected Soludo. Re-election testament to visionary leadership, according to Tinubu. Hails Amukwiton for credible poll. UK warns its citizens against travel to Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, others. Anambra Guba, Serap gives INEC 7 days to report vote buying sponsors to EFCC, ICPC, police. No work, no pay rule can deter workers from strike. That's according to NASU. FG OK's 3 new policies to boost civil service productivity. And NSCIA urges Christians to reject external efforts to destabilize Nigeria. And this final one here, ADC accuses INEC security agencies of complicity in Anambra vote buying scandal. And on to the Daily Times. Anambra, Tinubu others congratulate Soludo for winning. Ukachukwu rejects results. Soludo assures Anambra people of better performance. Nigeria security non-negotiable, says Tinubu. Wike gives Abuja property defaulters last chance to pay 5 million naira violation fee. Nigeria records first successful transaction on national payment stack. And of course, you can see this advert uniting you with Africa. That's United Nigeria. Of course, we are live there at Abuja, getting ready for the takeoff. So, of course, Afia is also there. We'll cross over to Ijoma a bit later. All right, and finally from the Daily Sun, house rent hike, agony spreads, worsening citizens' economic woes. 90% hike reported in Lagos, Enugu, others. Authorities congratulate Soludo on re-election, hails his transformational leadership. Dangote fuel depots in fresh price battle for market control. Nigeria not ripe for 15% tariff on fuel imports. S&P Global. Tinubu Wifuru, Abga congratulates Soludo on re-election. NASU tackles FG over recurring no work, no pay threats. And Saudi-bound wanted drug lord arrested as NDLEA raids Kulos lab in Lagos.
All right, thank you, Nnamdi, for those headlines. Now, to confirm if our guest has joined us, we want a swift breather. Once we come back, we'll start the assessment of these headlines. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Of course, we do apologize for that interruption. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show, and now we're joined from Enugu State. Of course, he can't make it here because he has a really busy day ahead, by Barrister Uche Maduemesi, who is a veteran journalist and a voter himself. Barrister Maduemesi, thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie. Thanks for having me.
All right. I mean, it's been a packed weekend. Of course, we know that you went straight to the polls to cast your ballot. But before we've already run out of time, let's take a look at the major stories on our dailies this morning. And I like how it was captured on the Nation newspaper, which spoke directly to the Anambra polls when it said, "My victory means elections getting better." That's according to the governor-elect, Professor Chukwumachao Soludo. How would you describe this statement? Do you agree with the governor-elect?
Well, personally, I don't agree with him. Elections getting better. Could it be because he won, or could it be because the ruling party, as most people, were suspecting, couldn't change the figures to suit them, or what? Elections, they have not gotten better. If elections have gotten better, people will go to the polling units, cast their votes without being offered money or anything. Then people will cast their votes and go without having the feeling that there's a possibility of whatever they voted for changing. So, but then whatever is the result is transmitted live to INEC. Then to get the true situation on the ground. By the time we have all those things, then we now say that our elections are getting better. But yes, he won. That's why he said getting better. So it depends on the perspective he's getting it.
All right. What was your experience when you went ahead to cast your ballot in Onitsha during the election?
Well, it was a peaceful election. As a matter of fact, I cast my vote in Anocha local government. That's my local government area. I came there from Onitsha. It was very peaceful, orderly, but again, one very good observation is that the turnout, was very, very low. Because I remember the polling unit where I voted, the registered voters there were up to 400 and even up to 1,000. Yes, up to 400 and close to 1,000. But all the people that voted at that polling unit were maybe around 130, 140 max, because they were even the INEC people were even cancelling, running over all most of these ballot booklets that were not used. They were cancelling them, to ensure that nobody eventually used them to tamper or whatever. It's a way of forestalling rigging. So in the full glare of everyone, they were now running bylaws across them, those unused booklets of ballot papers. So the turnout wasn't good. It wasn't encouraging. But again, comparatively to the last gubernatorial election, last weekend's own was better comparatively. But again, if you compare it with the 2023, when everybody came out, that polling unit was so filled up, the podium was so filled up that people were finding it difficult to get a place to sit. But
now, Barrister Maduemesi, during the election, I mean, people did not report too much about violence, although we heard about one incident at one of the borders. But the real allegation during the election was that of vote buying, allegations of vote buying like never before by both the, of course, opposition parties and the voters themselves were accused in other parties of buying and selling votes. Did you experience any of this when you went to cast your ballot?
Not only experiencing, I saw, before when when it was being alleged, or maybe when when I read it in the news that there were incidences of vote buying, I was thinking, when, how is it possible? And then there were now, there were stories of people hiding somewhere and doing the thing before one would approach the polling unit. But on Saturday, it was so clear, canvassers as if they are selling a product. As you are coming, somebody will beckon on you and we want to, find out from you what you want to do. So there were canvassers everywhere. All the parties, APC, ABGA, and whichever one. So any party that didn't do it, because they didn't have money. There were canvassers I saw. Before I used to hear it, I was saying, it's impossible. But I saw. It took place, it happened. They were offering people money. So a lot of people said no. But the gullible ones, most of these elderly ones giving them the impression that you have this. Even some collected and still cast the votes according to their conscience. So whether vote buying, I saw, yes, it happened. The same report always, every polling booth, all the major political parties, they had their people with monies, standing just about 50 meters 50 meters from the polling units, and they were doing that. Yes, he did.
Barrister, let me ask you
Yes,
this.
yes.
This morning on
Yes, please.
on the Nigerian Tribune, PDP, SDP, LP, ADC have rejected the Anambra Guba results, and Serap has told INEC to hand over Anambra vote buyers and their sponsors to EFCC, ICPC. Now, what do you think of these parties that have rejected the result? Do you think there's enough grounds for that? Yes, even our cameras cut of the vote buying. Do you think there's enough grounds for that?
Is of no moment that because all of them are neck deep in it. PDP, well, they are saying I don't think they have any locus to even comment on Anambra because then I don't think they never fielded any candidates. So the other,
well, to be fair, they did have a candidate.
They did field Jude as a one for.
They did have a candidate.
I don't know. Nobody knew. No campaign, nothing. But that one is not to justify what. Yes, they made that comment. That's exactly what they are supposed to say. You know, asking INEC to maybe look at the results again or whatever. But is a national malady. It's a national malady. So that's I don't know where they are going to start. I don't know from where they are going to end.
We also
now concerning the one you talked about handing over the people caught, you know.
We saw people caught on camera yesterday, yes, even arrested.
Yes, then ask yourself that of 2023, where lots and lots of people were arrested for different political electioneering issues or offenses. Where are they today? Did you see anybody in court? Did you read that anybody was arraigned? It's the same everywhere. The politicians, they are all neck deep in it. If you arrange somebody now, a politician will now come to make sure that that person or that matter, is dead as dodo because they are their foot soldier.
Barrister Maduemesi, let me come in there now, and just to be fair, I think I'm taking the line of fairness this morning, and let's talk about John Wosu of the ADC, which is an emerging party. He did grant an interview to pressmen, and in that interview he said that before the election, that some people came to his house and told him point blank that if you don't give us money, we will not vote for you and you will lose the election. And he refused their advances, telling them that they should go ahead and do what they want. He was not ready to spend any money. And we saw that at the end of the day on the election ground, some people even rushed to him to, complain about what they saw. And this appears to be one candidate that did not want anything to do with vote buying. He refused those people that came to basically give him that ultimatum that he must give them money or lose the election. How would you respond to that as you continue to make rather general claims about the vote buying allegation?
From your narrative now, he dared them that he wasn't going to part with any money. Let them go and do whatever they like. And they did. Nobody voted for him. Let me say this. Most of these politicians are the cause of what is happening. Most of them, people will toil and vote for them and get them into office. You will not see anybody anymore. They will now be enjoying all the perks of office with their family members and whatever. And now reject all those people who toiled for them. He dared them. Let them go and do what they like. And they did what they like. You shouldn't complain. They have spoiled politics in this country. What we're operating is not democracy. If it were to be democracy, a lot of things will not be happening. All of them are culprits. Because he lost today, he's shouting and making noise. They are all the same. They are all the same. Until the National Assembly does what it's supposed to do. Now we are talking. Everybody is now, a governor was talking about IREV, that it worked. That about 90-something, 98.9% were already uploaded as that whatever. So be it. And we hope by another election, let the IRF work. Let it work. We don't want stories.
The APC candidate, Nicholas Ukachukwu, has rejected the outcome of the election. He has rejected the result. How would you respond? Yes. Because he was basically what some would describe as the second runner-up at the election, even though he was defeated by a wide margin.
I don't know if I have to say this, but I really have to say it because that is the situation. APC is an anathema in Anambra State. He can reject, climb the Iroko tree and jump down as many times as he wants. Nobody. They're even lucky they got up to 99%. I mean, up to
99,
99,000
around
voters,
10,000.
because probably from their in-laws, their relatives, or whatever. APCs and Anetema in Anambra State. Was he expecting to win? Who will vote for APC? I am saying it the way it is. I am saying it the way it is. So APC is not popular in Anambra State. APC is not popular in Southeast. They
Right.
should face the reality.
You talked about the election and you talked about how politics has been ruined, destroyed, and shambles in Nigeria. Now, the comments by ADC, Anambra election, cash and carry democracy. Is this what Nigeria has been reduced to, cash and carry democracy?
That's what Nigeria has been reduced to, even from their primaries, all the political party primaries. Where you notice that even a popular candidate is winning a mass on the primaries, they will start with money, influence of money. Now you come to voting, the same thing. Like I was saying, if the National Assembly should do what they're supposed to do, there are certain things they're supposed to do to improve our electoral process. This issue of transmission of results, we want it to be law. They have not done anything to pass it, to make it law, so that it will be mandatory. Today now, the governor, he was jumping up and down, thanking Amopita, the new INEC, that the thing was transmitted or whatever. I just hope by next election in 2027 or something, there's somebody will now come up to tell you that it's never the law. That is at the whims of INEC, either to transmit or not to transmit. Let them do the right thing. Let them do it, make it law that every result must be transmitted from the polling unit. Let them make it a law that if you defect from your political party to another party, you lose your seat. It's a constitutional provision, but nobody is using it.
So let's throw in, because of what you just said, let's now throw in the biggest spanner we do have this morning, and that's Nnamdi's line. Let's throw in a spanner. Why not a screwdriver? Why not a hammer?
You throw a spanner into the works and it clogs it. It makes the engine.
Okay, the spanner can do many tricks, right? Now, many people are saying that now the incumbent governor has won the election, that he is now most likely going to defect to the All Progressives Congress. Do you see that happening? Do you see him defecting to APC?
Hello?
Yes. Do you see the governor-elect, Professor Chukwuma Soludo,
there are a lot of rumors. There are a lot of rumors in the air that he is going to defect or whatever, but he should never try it. Abga is the property of Anambra people, property of Ndigbo. Let him finish his tenure. Anytime he wants to defect, he can. Once another Abga candidate has won, let him defect and go. Or else, he will still be governor and be supporting the government at the center. No one is against that. P2B was supporting the government at the center. Willie Obiano was doing the same thing. He can be supporting Tinubu or whatever without defecting. Must he defect to support Tinubu? That Abga is the property of Anambra and Ndigbo. If he's tired, he's finished, then let him go and then defect, but not with Abga. And so I don't see him defect. There are a lot of talkings in town that he is going to defect, but I will advise him. He shouldn't try that. Support Tinubu as much as you want or whatever, but please leave Abga. So if he defects, for instance, the national secretariat or the regional secretariat of Abga that is being built in Oka, will they paint it to APC? Or what will they change it? Why? So please, that's exactly what I was saying about the constitutional provision. Let the National Assembly do the right thing. Because if they have done the right thing and make it a law, that is a law, if you defect, you lose your position, you leave. Because people voted for party. Elections in this country is about political parties. Any vote cast anywhere is for either for Abga, PDP, APC, or whatever, not for anybody, not for any individual.
Barrister Maduemesi, we're already out of time, but I would love to have you commit to joining us when you do have more time this week, possibly physically in the studio, so we can really review the fallout of this election. Can we get your commitment on that?
No problem. I will anytime I'm called upon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie. God bless you.
All right, Nnamdi, your own thoughts on this election. Do you think that it was fair and square?
I think it was non-violent. I think Abga was always going to win. I think there was like, you know, in the situation room on Saturday, Alex and I were discussing the fact that Anambra Central know that they are next and know that giving anybody else, you know, the governorship who is not Soludo means that person might want to do 8 years and they'll have to wait an extra 4 years. After the 4 years, they have to wait because they are observing the rotational policy in Anambra and it's to come to Anambra Central next. So, you know, all the Oyi, Njikoka, Duno, Kofia local governments en masse voted Soludo just to protect their own interests. So Soludo, even if we look at vote buying discrepancies, Soludo won. APC will have themselves to blame. Yes, really, Anambra, deep heart of Igbo land, is not really going to cozy up with APC. But we also saw a lot of parties, the PDP, the APC, a lot of people leaving the party, you know, angry at the primaries. We saw Valos Igbo leave angrily. Even support Chukwuma, who went to the YPP and came third.
Exactly.
You know, this is the story nobody's talking about.
Exactly.
He came third behind Abga, and a supposedly unknown candidate came third. I mean, outside Anambra, of course. Within Anambra, everybody knows who Support Chukwuma is. But behind Soludo and Ukachukwu, he came third. And that's the story not enough people are talking about.